Ellie here from the Dark Imp, helping parents reclaim family time by playing board games together. Today, my top 10 family games that you can play via Zoom or any other video conferencing software. Now, I haven't included any Dark Imp games in the list. They would have obviously been at number 1, 2, 3, etc. But I thought I'd just give you a quick roundup of the Dark Imp games that you can play via video conferencing, so that you know what to get your hands on in our shop. Dark Imp coasters, the coaster games, they can all be played via video conferencing. We've been playing loads of these. You just need to share what's on the game side of the coaster with people, and everybody can play on their own in their house. Also, the placemat games. So we've got Beach Life on one side and Castaway on the other side. As long as everyone has a score sheet, you can play with these in your own home. I've also been very busy during lockdown creating more games that you can play via video conferencing. Don't forget about Mini Town, which you can get free by joining the Dark Imp mailing list. That's a roll and write game that you can play via Zoom. Okay, let's hop into the top 10. At number 10, Linkie. Linkie is a trivia game where one player each turn is the quizmaster. Now, this has only got to number 10 because when you are playing via Zoom, one person, the person with the Linkie box, is always going to have to be the quizmaster, and they won't be able to play, as they'll be able to see the answers, see all the questions, and they won't be able to take part. So really, this is a game for everybody else who's not the question master. That's why it's at number 10. What you're looking for is the link between different clues. There are 4 different questions which you ask at different points. And any player can stop you when they think they've got the link, and instead of answering the questions, you just give the link between the answers. So that is Linkie. Number 9, Welcome To. Welcome To is a flip and write game. You flip over cards, you choose what you want, which options you want to take, and you write it on your own sheet. You can have as many people as you want playing, but everybody will need a score sheet. Now, you could scan these and send them to everybody to print out, or you could modify a PDF on your computer, or you could just create some boxes on your own paper that you could fill in. You don't need all the special artwork to play the game. Welcome To isn't higher up the list because when you flip over the cards, everybody needs to be able to see those 3 cards and what's at the top of the pile. So there are 6 cards that you need to be able to see, which means that if you're the one with the box, then you need to have a camera on the cards so everybody can see them all the time. But Welcome To is a fantastic game that's quite easy to play via Zoom. Number 8, No Thanks. No Thanks is a really simple game. It featured in a recent video I did on games using numbered cards. All you have to do is when a card comes up on the table and it's your turn, you say whether you want it and you take it, or no thanks and you put a token on it. If you put a token on, it goes to the next person around the circle and they can choose whether they take that card or put a token on. You're trying to get as low points as possible, but if you get strings of consecutive numbers, they only score for the lowest card. Now, this is possible to play via Zoom, and I've done it lots of times during lockdown. What you need to do is the person with the box, they're going to keep track of how many tokens are on the active card. Everybody else is going to keep a note of which cards they've taken and a note of how many tokens they have left in their pile. Works quite well, really quite easily. That is No Thanks. Number 7, Railroad Ink. Railroad Ink is another roll and write game. There are several roll and write games in this list because they are so easy to play via Zoom. All you need is your own score sheet, and then the person with the box can roll the dice and share them with everybody. Now, Railroad Ink has 4 different custom dice, and if you're playing with the expansion, it has more. I haven't done it with the expansion via Zoom because it's just that little bit more complicated and that little bit more to share. But when you are rolling the 4 dice, the 4 custom dice, it's great because every single score sheet has the possible dice rolls on. Now, if you number them at the beginning of the game and everybody knows the numbers, you can roll them and all you have to shout out is 2 number 3s and a number 4 and a number 7, something like that. And then everybody knows what's on the dice. All you're trying to do is you're trying to create networks of roads and railways on a grid. So you can, again, share the score sheets ahead of time. Everybody will need one of the score sheets. So that's Railroad Inc. And number 6, Perudo, or Liar's Dice. It's a classic game of dice rolling, bidding and bluffing. Everybody rolls dice. On your turn you have to bid a certain number of 2s, for example, that you think are face up on the table. The next person can challenge you, or they can increase your bid. So if they challenge you, then everybody reveals and you see how many 2s are face up on the table. If you're incorrectly challenged, the challenger loses a dice. If you yourself are challenged and you've been bluffing and you haven't got what you said you bid, then you lose a dice, and it goes down and down and down. Works brilliantly via Zoom. Everybody has dice in their own house. That's Perudo. Number 5 is Rolling Ranch. Rolling Ranch is a lovely little roll and write game again. So you've got 2 custom dice and they have on them animals. So it's either chickens, pigs and cows, and they also have numbers. Everybody has their own score sheet, which again you'll have to share ahead of time. You roll both dice and each player decides how to use them on their scoreboard. What you're doing is you're combining the animal on one dice with the number on the other, and you are deciding then that you can put that animal in that number on your grid. You're trying to kind of herd these animals back to the farm after a storm has knocked down all the fences. So Rolling Ranch works really well. It's only 2 dice, so you can easily hold them up for everybody to see while you're also writing on your own score sheet. It's an easy one, Rolling Ranch. At number 4, the L deck. Now, the L deck is a deck of cards that you can play lots of different games with. On each card there are 2 letters. And the box comes with rules for lots of different games. I've been playing some newer ones, Balance-a-Bell and Mini Muckle, which are brilliant via video conferencing. You can get rules to the new games on Bez's website, Stuff by Bez. I really recommend the L deck. That's at number 4. At number 3, Just One. Just One is a cooperative party game. Each turn there is an active player and they are trying to guess a 1-word answer from clues that the rest of the players are giving them. Now the rest of the players know what the word is, and each of them is going to choose 1 word that they hope will be a good clue to lead the active player to guess the correct word. But they're going to share their clue words before the active player gets a chance to see anything, and any that are duplicated are removed and the active player cannot see them when they're guessing the word. It works really well on Zoom. All you have to do, you can play along if you are if you've got the box. When it's your turn to guess, you're going to hold up a card to your camera without looking at it. When it's someone else's turn to guess, you hold up a card, you look at it yourself, and one player is going to cover their eyes so they can't see. So you just have to make sure that people aren't peeking at the camera, but we trust everybody. That's Just One. At number 2, our last roll and write, well, it's a flip and write game, Trails of Tucana. Trails of Tucana has a wonderful hexagonal shaped board. Again, everybody will need their own scoreboard, piece of paper to write on. There's a deck of cards and the person with the box is going to shuffle them and take 2 cards at random. The cards show different terrain types, and then everybody's going to draw a line somewhere on their map that connects that terrain type to the other terrain type. So it connects the 2 terrain types on the cards together. You're trying to score points by connecting different things together on the map and joining villages which are around the edge of the map. At number 1, Pictionary. I hadn't played Pictionary for years before we went into lockdown, but since then I've been playing it every week with my game group, and there's just a huge demand for it. We play it at the end of the night because it's really light-hearted. We never keep score, but it's a really fun way of rounding up our games night, and it works really well on Zoom or on other video conferencing because you get to share what you're writing or drawing on a whiteboard. And so when it's your turn, everybody else is going to close their eyes, including the person with the cards. You're going to put a card up to the screen, and and the person is going to choose one of the 5 words on the card. So the active player will choose one of the 5 words on the card. So I use the timer that comes within it sometimes, but sometimes we just want to keep going and see if we can guess this thing. So everybody else is guessing. It's not competitive. We're just having fun. So one person's drawing, everybody else is guessing that thing. We've had some brilliant disasters on the shared whiteboard. That's my number 1, Pictionary.